Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're calling in from around the world. Look, we want to welcome you to the last team leadership call of the year. And we've got an exciting lineup that we're going to go through today. So with that, I'll let Melissa just go ahead and share with you exactly what the lineup is.
Happy post-Thanksgiving for everybody in America as well. So no doubt you had a wonderful time with your families, and welcome to everyone from all around the world where you're checking in with us today. So I just wanted to let you know we've got our amazing upline sponsors. We've got Ed Wiens representing Rebecca today. So he's an Ambassador Diamond coming on to join us for his final farewell words of wisdom for the year, in terms of this being our last call. And then we're going to run through our rank advancements and special recognition. So that's something we always do to make sure that we honour each and every one of you. And then we'll hear from Triple Diamond Jon Norton, Verdis's son, and of course Tyler's brother. So Jon will be joining us. And then we've got Alissa Tucker from South Australia coming on to share with us a few words. Then we'll go through promotions and incentives. And in particular, we're so lucky today, we have a special new promotion coming up in Australia on Monday, December 2nd, but we have some amazing crossline team members under John Bash. I believe you're all under John Bash, correct me if I'm wrong, but I just wanted to, we'll introduce you to Dave Struckman, who's a platinum, to Michele Lay, to Miriam Spencer and Lynette L'Amour, who are all gold executives. So what these four have done in terms of promoting the promotion is amazing, and it's nearly record breaking, but for the numbers in their team, they did incredibly well to promote this promotion. So we feel very blessed and honored to have them join us today. And then of course we're going to go over upcoming events and team announcements to make sure that you're all plugged in over the next month or so. So Ed, your moment.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's just always a pleasure to be on with you when you have your monthly team recap call. I mean, you have, if you're first time attendee to this Zoom call, you're fortunate to be connected to some of the best leaders in all of ASEA that put together the finest newsletter, the finest team call, and you're going to hear some great things. So I'm just going to say hello quickly and kind of get out of the way. On behalf of Rebecca, just want to welcome all of you, especially those of you that are new to the team. I know there's a lot of you. There's a huge amount of growth taking place on the Kotter organization, not only in Australia, but throughout Asia and Europe and just literally globally. And so I'm always grateful to have looked back at that time 5 years ago, Bart, when we finally connected and thought, you know what, it's time we do something about this. And we came together. Bart and I go back 20 plus years. Gosh, we've ridden motorcycles all over the country. We've fished in some pretty wild places and fun places. And Melissa's just been a wonderful friend. We're thankful that she came into Bart's life several years ago. And so these are some of those of you that haven't yet met Bart and Melissa. You're being hosted tonight by some of the finest people on the planet, literally some of my dearest friends. And you're going to hear from some wonderful leaders that have just emerged over the last year. They've been named here earlier by Melissa. So yes, we're wrapping up a holiday weekend. We're kind of in the middle, I guess, of the holiday weekend. This is the Friday after our Thanksgiving here in the U.S. So my theme all this week, and I hosted the Charge Up call on Monday. My theme, and Dr. Michele was on with us. We talked about this. My theme was gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. And I tell you, when you step back and contemplate that out of all the people on the planet, you have been fortunate enough to hear about not only this technology, but this opportunity at this stage of the game. There's nothing but gratitude that ought to flow from your heart and out of your mouth. We are indeed a very, very fortunate small segment of the global population to have been gifted the opportunity to even know about this technology and to be able to participate in the distribution and making this technology known to others. So I'll ever be grateful, not only for the fact that I believe this product literally helped save Rebecca's life, extended her life, but it's also given us a real resurrection in terms of financial aspect of our life, which was sucking air, I got to tell you, about 5 years ago. So it's been an amazing experience. So tonight you're going to hear from Jon Norton, who Jon has he has a perspective on this that very, very few people have, being Verdis' son. He was around back when this was that stuff that Dad was drinking out of a primitive machine that you had to put in a mason jar and drink it within 20 minutes. He was around when this was Dad's moonshine, and way before, you know, it is what we had. So he's had a front row seat to everything that has been developed here. So I just want to welcome you. You know, let me just say this: we're obviously entering into the last month of the year, and there's a tendency all around the world to look at this holiday season as kind of a timeout. And I just want to challenge you to consider. Now here in the U.S., I'm a baseball fan, and one of the first things they teach you when you come to bat in a baseball game and you get a hit is that you run toward first base and you don't slow down. You can overrun first base. You can't overrun the other bases, but you run through it. So I want you to treat the end of the year like first base. Sprint all the way through it, get past it, and finish the year strong, because that'll dictate how strong you start the new year. Our sponsor, Chuck and Tammy Gates, got the phone call that saved their life in December. They called us in December. So don't look at this as a time where you put everything on the shelf and say, you know what, I'm going to gear up after the first of the year. Hit the new year strong, because you finished this year strong. And there are people out there right now that are feeling the stress of the holidays, the financial pressure. They're feeling frustration. I talked to someone today, wants me to help them revamp their resume because they're approaching the new year. They want to find a new thing to do, just to, you know, put food on the table now. So this is a time where people are feeling stressed, and they're anticipating a fresh start, and we have something that can relieve the stress and give people a fresh start physically and financially. So you're fortunate, in Australia especially, to hear from these folks who have just literally set records with this promotion, and it's just now coming into play for you in Australia. So you're looking at what will probably very well could be the biggest month you've ever had in ASEA. So take advantage of it. Listen close, take notes, and just pay attention to everything you hear on this call today. So our streets down below our condo today are full of the kickoff of the Christmas season. It's a whole Dickens theme. There are vendors. We just got off of a big family carriage ride through the city. And in a few minutes, when it gets dark, we're all going to have candles and march down the street and gather around the old market house dating from the 1600s and kind of officially kick off. So I got kids and grandkids in the street waiting for us. So thank you for getting me on quick and excusing me to go do some family things. But I love you all. Have a great call, and have a wonderful, wonderful December. God bless you.
Well, thank you, Ed. And in the theme of gratitude, look, we're extremely grateful for you, and thanks for that phone call and all the great times we've had, and certainly the great times we've had and the great times that we're going to have in the future. So we truly have a lot to be grateful for, particularly at this time.
Well, it's changed both of our lives.
Yeah.
But we're thankful. All right. All the best.
Thank you, Ed. I'll just transition quickly back to the PowerPoint, because what we're going to do now is we're going to run through recognition. So as Ed mentioned, welcome and congratulations to all our new associates in our team. So we're very, very excited to have you on board. And
lots of amazing rank advancements this last month.
Definitely, and a special one we've heard of this morning even.
That's right. We've got a big one to announce.
Yes, so let's start with Director 300s. Here are the Director 300s from week, I'm trying to find it, I think, week 44, I believe. So congratulations to all of you listed here on this slide. I can't take credit for any of these slides. Our assistant Jenny Rose in the Philippines creates them. So full credit to her, and a call out and a huge thank you to Jenny Rose for helping us to look good.
Here's more rank advancements for this month, week 45 again, Director 300. Look, this is a really important rank too, because it's, and you really want to make sure that you recognize the leaders in your team that have hit this rank as they're moving up, because if you just duplicate Director 300 over and over again, you know, you literally can take this compensation plan all the way. So it's really, really important. More Director 300s this month as we go through the weeks. Huge congratulations to all these new Director 300s. You're going to start seeing a lot more Asian names as well, as
which is why we're not reading them all out.
as this moves up, very exciting things happening. Director 700 for this last month. So starting with week 44, these are the new director 700s.
Congratulations.
Huge congratulations to all the director 700s. Amazing job. Congratulations. Well done. And week 45 now. More director 300s or 700s, excuse me. Director 700 is simply doing 700 points on the left side, the right side being active. Best way to be active is to be on auto ship. You always want to teach your people to be on auto ship, so that creates the consistency and in your business. It creates the residual income. Certainly is the best way to set people up for success. More director 700s this week 46, as we're seeing and here's director 700s for weeks 47.
47. Congratulations, all director 700s. We're really grateful for each and every one of you, and we're excited about what the future has in store for you in ASEA.
Now we get to go through the next ranks, which is bronze executive. This is a fantastic level. It's doing 2,000 points on the left, 2,000 points on the right. You've got at least 2 directors, 300 legs. So a huge congratulations to our new bronze executives. This is also where you can open up the EMP bonus and collect your percentage of the 2% of the global sales based on your personal group volume, 3 levels in depth. So lots of bronze executives that are moving up the ranks.
And Ascent as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. You qualify for the Ascent trip when you hit the bronze level. So start earning points toward the company paying for that incentive also.
The beautiful Dubrovnik in Croatia that everybody is really excited about. So as Ed said, stay focused through the next 4 to 6 weeks and or more, obviously, till Ascent finishes, the Croatia run finishes, but stay focused because absolutely anything is possible. And if you visualize being there and you plan to be there, you'll be there. So congratulations to all these bronze executives.
And this is a nice lineup of bronze executives. Congratulations, you guys. This is fantastic.
Well done. Okay.
Now, silver executives. Silver is pretty similar to the bronze, but you've got 3,000 points on the left, 3,000 points on the right side. You've added at least 1 more director 300 to your team, to your business to qualify. So these are the the silver executives for this last month. This is for week 46 and week 47. Congratulations. And we've got some gold executives as well. This is a pretty big jump, 5,000 points on the left and 5,000 points on the right. You've added another director 300, at least 1 more to your team, director 300 leg. Well done, Ray Dixon and yeah,
May.
And May,
yeah,
right?
You can pronounce
And,
this one now
and
that you've started.
AACI. This is a fantastic rank. So congratulations on the gold executives. And we've got some platinum executives to recognize. It's almost feel bad that we're running through these so quick because these are really significant achievements. Platinum is a big jump. It's 10,000 points on the right, 10,000 points on the left side of your business. You've got at least 5 director 300 legs. So you're really building and growing your team. You're enjoying a bigger percentage in the EMP bonus, the executive momentum pool. And so really a massive congratulations. Of course, this is the rank before we hit the diamond level.
That's right. And so
we've got a huge announcement. I don't know if he's on
I'll have a look to see
if he's on there.
Just this morning.
But a gentleman who has been in this industry, this profession for 30 years, and several different companies, jumped on about 5 years ago, kind of in the beginning, and Mr. Steve Copping. There he is. Let's just promote Steve to...
My curse has disappeared.
There it is. Steve, hang on. We're going to promote you if we can.
Okay, working on it. My cursor has disappeared. So
maybe go off to the side and then back on. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we'll Steve, we're going to get to you here in just a second. But
did I promote him? Maybe he's there.
Steve, are you there? Are you promoted? I don't think so.
There he is.
Yeah, there you are. Stevie, are you with us, mate?
Anyway, just talk through this.
Okay. Look, we'll go ahead and move on. But Steve is, we'll definitely want to hear from you on our next team call. We're gonna
Brand new diamond today, so
yeah,
congratulations.
just today. That's right.
Yeah, so excited for
fantastic. And Steve is might be a little bit bright and early. It's 6 a.m. over in Malaysia where he's at right now. So Steve has been on the top of the leaderboard for the EMP bonus for quite some time, and so congratulations, Steve.
Very excited for you, Steve.
Very, very excited.
Very. He also goes by the name Coppo, but I struggle to say that. Okay, we'll quickly get through the specialty awards as well. These achievers are top associate enrollers for week 44. We really want to recognise all of you who are participating and showing up in these growth awards, because it takes a lot of consistent effort to actually rank on the top 10 here. They're just Australia only, and our Australian team only is reflected in these reports because that's all we get in our virtual office. But we're really proud and really excited for all of you. So congratulations. You're doing what it takes to build this business and to stay consistent. So
absolutely,
this is obviously testimony to the depth of your vision as well for ASEA. You're communicating that, your passion and your absolute conviction for ASEA's technology, for ASEA's products. So now let's have a look at emerging leaders for week 44. Congratulations, all these amazing emerging leaders.
Absolutely, emerging leaders. This is where you're helping your team grow and advance, and company recognizes you for your efforts in helping your teammates as they're building and growing their business. So huge congratulations to all the emerging leaders.
In week 47.
Yeah.
There's another Bart on there.
Ah, well done, Bart. It's a good name. All right.
Auto ship all stars. So congratulations.
Yeah, look, this is important. These are the people that are setting themselves, their teammates up for success. What I mean by that is they're really getting people on the auto ship so that they're consistently maintaining, building their business. It's going to be, consistent when they do it. So definitely make sure that you set people up on auto ship. Now the EMP earners, this is a big one. Look at that, all the way 1 through 10 on our team for Australia.
We're missing 5.
Oh, we're missing 5. The top EMP earners. This is pretty exciting. These are the people who are participating in the executive momentum pool from Australia that are achieving the EMP bonus.
2% shares in the global pool, so it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Well done.
Okay, week 47.
Yeah. And fast
forward. So most of you know, in terms of fast forwards, there is 14 days. And when you get 4 new enrollments, associates and preferred customers and 800 promo points, you receive some phenomenal loyalty reward points and 25 renewed 28 sample tubes, which adds up to be about 610 in cash and products. So congratulations to all these amazing people, to all of you if you're on the line and listed here. Congratulations for achieving fast forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge lineup of fast forward achievers. This is really what you want to duplicate. You're setting your business up with momentum. This business loves speed. Momentum creates is definitely the best way to set your business up for success.
And then, of course, you essentially double that up in the same period of time for a Fast Forward Plus with the 1,200 promo points and 8 new enrollments. And we have Mark, who has achieved that so far, excuse me, in November. So huge congratulations to you, Mark. Well done. Now we're getting to our special guest speakers. So we have the amazing Jon Norton, who we've mentioned we're so honoured and privileged to have on our call today. So, Jon, we'll hand it over to you. Thanks so much for joining us. We're very excited. It's been a while since we've actually spoken to you, but happy Thanksgiving holiday weekend.
Good day, mates.
Well done. Have you been out here? Have you been out?
Thank you. No, I have not been to Australia. One of the few places that I really want to go and haven't been. So,
I'm sure.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And what a great tribute to all those who broke rank and moved forward. I'll tell you, just sitting there looking at the names, I just want to shake everyone's hand and thank them from our family. This has been a really, really special thing for us to see so many people benefiting by both the product of ASEA and the business of ASEA. And, it's just all positive. It's all going forward. So my mom and dad came to my house yesterday for Thanksgiving dinner, and my dad leaned over to me and he said, when you get a minute, come read some of the letters that I received for my 80th birthday. I think some of you know that he turned 80 about the time we did convention this year in Las Vegas. And a lot of people sent letters to him. And he said 9 out of 10 letters include something that represented a benefit by the product ASEA to a family member or to themselves. And he said, if the world saw what was in these 500 letters or so, they would all jump on this, because it's pretty amazing what the product can do. And it's disappointing to a certain degree that we can't share all that it can do using the language that we've been given. So he's had to go through each one of them and kind of identify all the things that ASEA is doing, and he has kept a really great record of all of that, and hopes to one day show a lot of people the real value of the product. Anyway, thank you very much for the introduction. I'll let you guys kind of drive, ask questions, tell me which direction you want to go. But Melissa and Bart, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, John. We heard you've got a lot of snow out the window too, don't you? Thanksgiving.
We do. It's coming down very hard right now. Very hard.
But we're excited about that. We're going to be there next week. I haven't skied for 9 years, so we're going to be hitting the slopes over there.
Awesome.
We're glad that
all of the major resorts open today, so you're going to have great snow, a lot of powder.
Oh, good stuff.
Good. We'll be actually up your neck of the woods somewhere. We'll be renting a house in Sundance as well. So we're very excited, because the reality is we wouldn't have been able to do that without ASEA, without
awesome.
the transformation of business of ASEA. So
absolutely.
One of the things that I have been promoting in our newsletter about you is, in terms of sharing the founder's story, you've more or less got the story behind the story because of who you are. And there may be a lot of new people on the line today, and potentially a lot of people who haven't heard or simply your perspective, but also the ASEA founder's story. So if you don't mind sharing that with us, we would really be grateful.
Yeah, I'd be very happy to. I apologize for talking kind of quickly. There's a lot to the story, and I kind of talk quickly, and I know a lot of the new people on your team may not have English as a first language, so I apologize for that. I'm hoping maybe they can go back and listen to it. But I love the story. It's the thing that gets me really excited about both the product ASEA and the opportunity ASEA. This started probably 12, 13 years ago for my dad. The product that we now know as ASEA started even before that. And my dad did very well in business. We grew up close to New York City, where he worked for General Foods, and then later Kraft bought General Foods, and he worked for Kraft General Foods, and retired from Kraft General Foods as a vice president, working a lot with strategy and seeing how the business could run better, and made a name for himself. And a lot of people kind of perked up and knew the name of Verdis Norton as a great strategist. And when he retired to Park City, there were people, individuals, companies that were calling him asking for help. And he was retired comfortably and playing a lot of golf and having a good time. And one company in particular said, please come out and help us. And he decided to go out and help them for a day at the request of Tyler, my brother. And he met with them for a day and said, well, you guys have done great so far, but there's quite a bit more work that needs to be done. And if you want to take it to market in the path that you're now considering, you need a lot more money. And they said to him, can you help us find it? He said, well, sure I can, but you need to know that your piece of the pie, which is now the full pie, is going to be a small sliver once these new investors come in, because for you to take it into the realm of the pharmaceutical industry, it'll cost you close to $1 billion. And they all kind of choked on that. They had spent about $16 million, had worked it for a long, long time, gone through 4 CEOs, and hadn't made a penny. And they were planning to take it forward and introduce it to the pharmaceutical world. And they said, well, would you be willing to run the company? And he said, nope, I have no interest. Thanks for the offer. They said, what if we were to sell it to you and we reinvested in you and you owned it? And he said, well, I appreciate it, but I don't think I'm interested. They realized very quickly that he knew how to take it to market and that there were a couple different avenues to do that in. And a couple days later, he was playing golf with one of his buddies, and he told him about it. And the guy stopped his golf cart and pulled his wallet out and pulled an old crumpled check out and wrote a check and kind of threw it to my dad. And they both started laughing. And he said, what are you doing? He said, I've always wanted to go into business with you. Let's go do it. Let's go buy it. He says, how could you be serious? You don't even know what this is. He said, it doesn't really matter. I just want to go into business with you. And so they actually thought about it and decided to buy the business. It was delivered to them in the form of 9 pallets of documentation, research, patents, information from major universities, University of Indiana and Washington, Stanford, Harvard, UCLA, a couple others that had done research on this product. And they really didn't know the first steps of how they should make a play on this. It was a business play at the time. And they thought, let's prove what it is and introduce it and understand a little bit better the mode of action or the mechanism of action in the body, why it works. And then we'll flip it and we'll just sell it to a big pharmaceutical company and they can take the ball and run from there. It's a business play and let's flip it and make some money. And they started introducing it to individuals who had connections into the pharmaceutical industry here in the United States, but ties all throughout the world: GlaxoSmithKline, Johnson & Johnson, Baxter, Bar Pharmaceutical out of New Jersey expressed real interest, and they got on a Learjet and flew to Salt Lake City, and they entertained them for a day while some of their scientists took the product to some labs here in the Salt Lake City area and tested it. And after lunch, they came in and the scientists walked in and they essentially nodded. They said they have it, which was redox signaling molecules. Now, I've got to back up just a little bit. For us to understand that we had redox signaling molecules, we contacted an atomic medical physicist by the name of Gary Samuelson. Some of you may still know that name. Gary initially was not interested at all. He said, everything having to do with salt water has already been discovered. I have no interest. But he said, I do want you to look at a couple other things. And they said, well, we thought you would say that. So they had brought a bunch of the science that some of these universities had gone through, and they handed it to him and said, take a look at this and let us know what you think. And he looked at it over the weekend and could not believe what he was seeing and what these scientists were saying. And when Monday morning rolled around, he got on the phone early and started calling them saying, how can you say this? How can you say that it does this and this and this? And they said, we don't know why it's doing what it's doing, but we can tell you that it's doing all these things. And he got back in touch with my dad and said, I'm fascinated. He said, you've got my attention. I think you have something here that the world doesn't know about yet, and I do want to study it and understand it. And he pretty much locked himself in a room up close to the University of Utah and studied it for close to 2.5 months and called my dad and said, do you have any idea what you have? And he said, no. And he said, well, I'm not going to tell you over the phone. Meet me at the office. And they walked in, And he closed the door and pulled his chair up and sat down, and he asked the question, do you know what you have? And they said, no. So tell us what he had. He said, well, about 10 years ago at the time, scientists had discovered that there was a second set of molecules in the Krebs cycle. They're called Krebs cycle intermediates. And half of them are very powerful and they can be considered free radicals, but they had never seen the other half. They're called the reduced species. And it's the other half of redox, reductants and oxidants. But he said together they form a balancing set of molecules that every cell in the body needs in order to function properly. But we had only seen half of the equation until this new spectrometry microscope allowed them, using a dye, to see the second set of molecules. So all the textbooks were showing that these molecules were bad. And whenever you'd see them in a biology book, they'd always have big lightning bolts against them saying these are free radicals and they will kill the body. Well, what they didn't realize that this was the weapon of choice for the immune system, and that they are extremely valuable, and without them you die in about 10 minutes. What they realized was that this second set of molecules would balance them and would allow them to work hard in the body without destroying other parts of the body. So one's the army, the other is the shield. And as he explained this, he said this is called redox signaling molecules. Well, it went over their heads. They had never heard of that. It was really a new concept even in the scientific field. And he said, what's the application? He said, you're not getting what I'm saying. He said, you can't compare these to anything. There's nothing like them. They work in concert with the body, the way the body was designed to work. Your body and the immune system is much more powerful than anyone really understands. And these are the key components that make the immune system work. So that's when they took it to the pharmaceutical industry, and Bart came out and made them a huge offer, a big check, and said, but the condition is that you have to give us all of your product, all of your patents, all of your documentation, everything that you have now, you've got to give it to us and we'll put it on a plane and take it back to New Jersey. And my dad said, well, I don't think we can do that. We've given this to a lot of people and they're coming back saying this is tremendous, and I'm giving it to all my family, and it had gone to 20 some odd countries. And the word was really getting out that we had something special. It was helping a lot of people. And they said, well, people die every day. You have to really let them go. And my dad's exact words were, that sounds a little harsh to me. And they said, well, if you want to cash the check and work with us, you've got to do that. Well, meantime, Dr. Samuelson's kind of kicking them under the table saying, don't do anything until we've had a chance to talk. And he kind of cornered them in the room before they left, but when they were alone, and said, I could live 100 lifetimes and never see something like this. This belongs to humanity, and we have to find a way to get it to people rather than give it to them, because it was his understanding that they would bury it, that they would shelf it, that it was so powerful and effective that it would hurt the industry and hurt their products that they had spent literally hundreds of millions of dollars on. And he said, please don't sell this into this group. So they said, we'll give you our answer. They picked up and left, hopped on their Learjet, flew back to New Jersey. And my dad and his partners went in and talked to Orrin Hatch, who was a Utah senator and ran for president, for a nomination for president of the Republican Party, I don't know, a long time ago. But he brought them in and kind of cleared his calendar, and they talked about it for a long time. And he said, don't sell it to the pharmaceutical industry, because they will either bump the price up on it so that it's very, very hard to afford for the average person, even through insurance, or they will shelf it. They'll bury it, because it is a very powerful, natural, native, safe thing that you can put in your body. It will do a lot of good, and that will actually hurt the industry a little bit. And so they thought about it, and it was at that point where they kind of turned to each other and said, it's no longer a business play. This has so much value, so much benefit for so many people. let's make it available. And he said, Orrin Hatch said, you know, if you have your safety and toxicity testing done, you can bring this out tomorrow as a nutraceutical and just not make any claims. And that's what they decided to do. So at that point, ASEA was born as a network marketing company. And at that point, my dad said, you know, our goal is to bring it to the four corners of this earth and to help as many people as possible. And he kind of turned the check down and said, let's start from scratch. Let's get this going. And many of you know my sister, Nancy. Nancy and I sat in a room with about 16 other people. And we said, yeah, we'll do it. No tools, no presentation, no pamphlets, no nothing really. And we started telling people about it. And, you know, the meetings were small and then they'd get a little bit bigger. But, you know, I always thought that each of us who understood what it was had a responsibility to share it with as many people as we could, because the stories just started rolling in and now it's moving exponentially. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories of how ASEA, and what I will say is that in and of itself, ASEA doesn't cure anything, but ASEA helps the body figure out a way to kick in the immune system, and the immune system takes care of it. So ASEA is not designed to treat, cure, prevent any disease, but what I will tell you is that it is the basic building blocks of the immune system, that saltwater chemistry, which is kind of what ASEA is the language, it is the currency of health. And that's true of every living organism. And this has such great value that it's my belief that the company might very well grow to be, over time, one of the most important companies on the earth for health and wellness. And we're going to help a lot of people financially along the way. So with that, I turn it back over to the two of you, the three of you now.
I'd just like to say something. I would like to just, you know, in terms of perspective and time, I mean, this was all, I mean, your dad was, what, 69 years old at the time. He was looking to retire. And also we're talking 2008, one of the biggest, you know, recessions in the U.S. history. What a time to do that. So I just want to express my gratitude. We'd like to express our gratitude actually for the courage that you and the Norton family had to take this on with no network marketing experience whatsoever, and just making the decision to do that, because what a huge thing. I mean, you didn't need to do it. It was really just an incredible gift to leave a legacy like that. So thank you for your courage and your commitment to help get this out to humanity. Absolutely.
Thank you, Bart. Thank you, Melissa. Can I say one other thing? As you're mentioning that, we didn't have any network marketing experience, but Nancy and I became the first of a couple of founding triple diamonds in the company. And I would say to this day, I don't know how to do it. I still don't know how to do it. But what I knew was a fact is that if I told 10 people a certain number were going to come in, and you can get a little better, and sometimes that number goes from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 even, you're always going to have 1 or 2 that say, not for me, and that's totally fine. But it is a numbers game for everyone. And everyone needs to know, even those director 300s and 700s who are just starting, that one day with time and effort, you will be, not you can be, but you will be a triple diamond. I promise you that. If you stay with it, that will happen. Anyone can do it. I did it, and I'm not a salesman. I'm not a network marketer. I just like telling people about it. And sometimes people would say, no, thanks, not interested. And I would say, doesn't matter. I want you to know that it's there. And someday you may need it. I want you to remember this conversation and know that you can go find it somewhere. And I felt like that was a huge obligation. And for the longest time, the money does not flow. And I want everyone to know that that is network marketing. You have to really bust your butt for a long time, but after a certain amount of time, it flows and grows very quickly. But I say to everyone, you're going to go through the desert. It's okay. Take a long glass of water and drink it up early. Know that you're going to go through it. Know that you're going to say, I'm putting so much effort in and it's not rolling in. But over time, it really kicks in and it really, really pays off. So I would encourage everyone who says, it's not me, I just can't do it, I don't know how to do it, just to share it with people and continue to share it with people. And over time, absolutely everyone can achieve whatever rank they desire. I honestly believe that. So I just wanted to say that, Bart.
Jon, thank you so much for sharing that with us. You may not think you're a network marketer, and you may not think you're a salesman. And I know in the very beginning there were no tools, and like you described with Nancy, you were pioneering. But here's what you do have that made the phenomenal difference in my life. When you walked up our driveway in 2010, when we were having our garage sale and we were relocating back to Australia, we had a conversation. And at the time we were protecting income from another network marketing company that we'd been a part of for many, many years. And what I remember about you is it wasn't necessarily what you said, it was how you said it. So you had mentioned to me that your dad was forming this company and there was an atomic medical physicist that he was working with. And I absolutely knew in the moment, because of who you are and how you represented to me, the conviction that you have, obviously the knowledge that you have, the passion that you have for ASEA. But the thing that I'll never forget is the absolute love and admiration you have for your dad. And so you were telling me about ASEA, and there were lots of other people around. And I remembered at the time that this conversation was extremely special, and that it wasn't a coincidence that I met you. You might have to.
It really was profound, Jon. I remember Melissa saying that, hey, we need to keep this in mind. And it wasn't. Sometimes it's not just the right timing. Gee, now you got me going. Look, we just really appreciate you. You know, there's so many coincidences that have happened to bring this technology to where it is. Just the simple fact that it found its way into Verdis's hands and your hands is really pretty remarkable. I know Dr. Samuelson said that he felt like he was led, that he was guided to this, to the discovery of the breakthrough, how to stabilize these molecules. So we're really in a very unique time and place right now, particularly as this is really starting to pick up some momentum. I know that you had to lay a foundation to begin with just to really make this, to be able to move this forward. Otherwise it would have grown. In fact, I remember something that Verdis said when I came to the fly-in in September of 2014. He said, if people really understood what we have our hands on, we would be bigger than Apple Computer overnight. Unfortunately, just because of the nature of the wellness industry and the way it is, we can't be quite as public of what it does, but I think that you've really shared pretty well what's going on with this product and how powerful it truly is.
Well,
I was just going to say, so you made it into our driveway and you changed our lives. So.
Well, I thank you, Melissa, for sharing your emotion. I have felt that same feeling about relationships and about the product and about the opportunity. And our family talks about it with sincere reverence, because we do feel like we have been part of a bigger plan and have been guided by Providence to do some of the things that we have done. And we feel like there is a symphony going on, and we may be playing a little tiny piece of that symphony, but a higher power is orchestrating all of this. And the symphony is beautiful beyond imagination. And we all play our little part. And once the music comes out, you listen to it again and you realize the majesty of it. And it's humbling. It's humbling for every single one of us to be part of something so incredibly awesome and beautiful and powerful. And it has some amazing components to it. And everyone who understands the core of the business and the product feels it. So thank you for your emotion. I'll let you know that every member of our family has felt the same way you and Bart have about this. And I I felt the same way, that our meeting was not by chance, and that, those are the seeds that are important for all of us to plant. And, eventually they'll bloom. They all will. And you never know that if you've shared something very, very important and valuable, that someone 2, 5, 10 years from now may come back and say, I remember something and I need to go back and look at this again. And a lot of times we're prompted to do that for a very important reason. I don't know how many of us it will help in the long run, health-wise, but there's value in our relationships as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Jon. I've got myself together now. Thank you.
Hey, hey, there's one thing that you shared a story, a Christmas Eve story. I know that you're just loaded with so much profound knowledge. I know that they've got some information about athletics, and maybe we're not all athletes, but we can all, if we have an active lifestyle, we always want to get the most out of our day. I don't know, maybe two last things if you can share, just a couple little highlights on what you've seen in that regard with the athletics. And also you had a Christmas Eve story, particularly we're in the holidays right now, but it really was a powerful message on sharing this technology. And I'd really appreciate it if you could share a couple thoughts on those two things.
Sure, I'd love to. You say you're full of profound knowledge. I'm not. I do know how the product works, and I know all the stories. The stuff that makes its way to a filing cabinet with a lock on it that we can't really share. So my conviction of the product is off the chart because I know what it can do. I know how many people it can help. And so that's what drives me. That's what motivates me, knowing how important it is for people. But sure, I'd be happy to share a couple of things. See, how the product works in the body is a different topic that I love talking about because it took me a long time to figure it out, asking a lot of questions and reading a lot of books. But it helps me to know that it's not miracle after miracle after miracle, that there's actually a process that the body uses to take the ASEA product in and start to repair things, which is exciting to me because we know that process works in the body. The athletic side of things really came about through Nancy, my sister's husband, Mark Tinnell, who is a cyclist, and he's on a team, and they actually do real rigorous, difficult, long races together where they kind of work together as a team. And one morning he got on his bike with the rest of the team and went from the valley of Salt Lake City up close to the top of I think it was Brighton Mountain. So all the way up to the top of the mountains above Salt Lake City. And about midway through, Mark had taken off well in front of the team and they were lagging behind. The entire team was trying to catch him and he was literally minutes ahead of them. Got to the top of the mountain, took his helmet off, got off his bike and waited for them. And they got to the top and said, what the heck just happened? We have been pushing as hard as we ever have, and we can't keep up with you. What are you on? And he drove down to the bottom of the mountain, got on the phone and said to my dad, you have a performance enhancer. And he said, what do you mean? He says, this stuff enhances performance. And it does so safe, legally. It's not a drug, all that kind of stuff. And so we immediately took it to a number of institutions where they were measuring VO2 max, which is an interesting concept. It's essentially how in tune can you get your body so that it can take the oxygen that you're bringing in and turn it into fuel. So there's kind of a number that you can get to for all athletes. And it's called VO2 max, and it actually increases your VO2 max, or your threshold for turning oxygen into energy. And normally it takes athletes months and months and months to even move it a little bit, and we have shown that it can increase that up to 12% almost immediately. So a lot of the work that was done on this was done in the Human Performance Lab at Appalachian State, working in conjunction with the University of North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, and a couple others in Raleigh, North Carolina, close to Research Triangle Park, where Dr. David C. Neiman did some studies on athletes given ASEA and a placebo to see if ASEA was real. And what they found was, in their terms, astonishing, remarkable, in some cases unbelievable. Dr. Neiman at one point said, "I've been looking for this for 30 years. So this does not make you stronger. It doesn't make you faster. It allows you to go longer, harder. And so this is really for endurance athletes. And once you understand the components that make up the different energies that you can take into your body, fats, proteins, and carbs, you understand that there's a relationship, and really the only two energies are not proteins. Proteins will help infrastructure, but it's fats or carbs, and they trade off. So if you want to go fast quickly, it's carbs. If you want to go long, it's fats. But you have to have kind of a burning of one to have the other. So what this allows you to do is spare glucose in your bloodstream so that it can be there at the end of the race, allowing you to go longer. So, there's some diagrams that if I were to show you, you'd say, oh, it makes perfect sense. But essentially what you're doing is a lot of the athletes take in as much carbs as they can. Right before a race, you can get about 390 grams of carbs in your body. And at that point, in your blood and liver, you're full. You can't do more. They've actually done studies and shown that, if you continue to eat carbs, you can't get more than about 390 grams in there. So at some point, you're going to run out. But ASEA helps the body use fats, fatty free acids from adipose tissue, mainly in your stomach, and it can use it as a source of fuel. And when you look at what kind of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is built from fats in comparison to carbs, you realize that that form of energy is more than 2 times as effective. Meaning if your car now gets, and I'm in the US, so I'll use miles, but say it's 30 miles to the gallon, this would give you 65 miles or 70 miles to the gallon. It simply allows you to go longer because you're using your own adipose tissue fats. And the body's using that form of energy to help you go longer. So that's all I'll say on the athletic side, but it is a great, great advantage to those who use it, especially for long-term swimmers, hikers, bikers, anyone who's doing kind of more of a long-term thing versus sprinting. A buddy of mine went up into the mountains hunting elk, and he's a bigger guy. And he took some early in the morning. He said, I could not believe the energy I had. He said, I walked the entire day. And he lost quite a bit of weight. And it's a great, great benefit to those who have interest in losing a little weight. But he said, I could keep going. I just kept going and going. And so if you haven't tried it for that purpose, you should. So let me turn quickly to the story that you're referring to. This is something that happened when I first moved into my current house. We had some friends down the street that said, we'd love to get together for Christmas Eve. And they were coming to our house, and it was literally 5 or 5:30 in the evening on Christmas Eve. And my wife was preparing some kind of dessert and missed some kind of ingredient. And she said, would you quickly run to the store? I think they're open till 6. And grab this for me. I need it for what I'm making. And I hopped in my car and took off. And it was very, very quiet in my neighborhood. The Christmas lights were on all around me. And as I was driving down the street, it seemed like I was the only one there. And as I turned the corner and went down the street towards the grocery store in our area, I live kind of up on that mountain on the other side of Sundance where you're headed. I'm on Timpanogos Mountain. I came to a 4-way stop and looked left and right, seeing no cars were coming, started to go through, but a flash caught my eye on the left side. And I looked back over and realized that there was about a 10 to 15 foot flame coming up from the rooftop of one of the houses, not the house on the corner, but the next one in. And I sat there and looked at it and thought, it is so quiet, so serene. No one knows that that flame is there. And that house is probably pretty close to going up in flames. It had not snowed or rained, so everything was pretty dry. And I quickly turned my car left and parked in front of their house, threw my door open and ran up to the front door and knocked on the door. And I could hear people inside, and I wasn't just going to wait for 30 or 40 seconds. So I knocked on the door again. No one was coming. I was getting frantic for their safety and for their house. And I opened the screen door and kind of pounded on it. And I could hear them talking. And at this point, I gave them 10, 12 seconds. And I got frustrated. I started hitting the doorbell. And after a few more seconds, I checked the knob and opened the door. And it was open. And the whole family was in there on the floor, with the exception of one or two. They had several kids. And the dad looked at me like, what the heck are you doing? Get out of my house. Who do you think you are? And he was very, very frustrated and even mad. And I looked at him in the eye and I said, calmly, I said, your house is on fire. And he did not move. His wife didn't move. They thought, you're an idiot. Get out of here. And I said, your house is on fire. There's a flame on your roof. And he still didn't move. And I walked into his house, leaned over his couch, and I yelled at him. And I said, your house is burning down right now. Come out and I'll show you the flame. And he got up very slowly, and I waited for him at the door, and I opened the door for him, and he walked out, looked up and couldn't see it. And he looks at me. I said, back up, it's there. And he walked closer to the sidewalk to the front of the house and saw a massive flame. At this point, it's 15, 20 feet tall. And it was burning right next to his chimney and his roof line. And he erupted. And he yelled to his wife and he yelled to his kids. And he asked me to go around the back and get a garden hose that I could use that hook up the front. We might be able to get some water on it. I knew it was futile, but I said, hurry and call the fire department. I haven't called them yet. And he called them, and I sat there and helped. We couldn't reach the flame. It was a 2-story house, pretty big house. And I sat there and I just went back to my car and I watched the whole house burn. And the family came out. One of the sons was literally in the shower when I went in. He came out with just a towel and a couple things on. And they kept running back in, go get this, go get that. Well, long story short, I went down and grabbed what I needed at the store and came back. And as I was driving up to our house, I could see huge billows of dark smoke rising above the tree line. And I knew that the house was just engulfed in flames. And it was. The whole family was out there. There were neighbors trying to comfort them. And I stopped for a minute, but there were 50, 60, 70 people out there with the fire department and hoses everywhere. And I drove by that house for the next probably 2 months. And most of it was covered in a tarp. They eventually had to tear down most of it and rebuild the whole thing. But later, I stopped at the house and I walked up and I knocked on the door. I said, do you remember me? And the guy said, no. I said, I was the dingbat that walked into your house way back when. And he thanked me at the time. He didn't realize it, of course, when I first went in. But he realized that what I was doing was important to him and important to his family and for their safety. And the more I think about that, the more I tie it back to the way I feel about what I know ASEA can do. And sometimes people don't know that their house is on fire. And we'll say something and they'll say, yeah. And sometimes you need to knock a little harder. Sometimes you need to push your way in. And they need to see in your eyes, which is super important, that you're sincere and that you're there to help. And when they see that, they will listen. And I can give you dozens of experiences with ASEA where people initially said, yeah, you're just another product. You're just another company. I don't know what this is, but it can't be real. And I have to push the door open, so to speak, and look in their eyes and say, I promise you, you need this. I promise you, you need this. This is valuable. Don't discard it because it's something that you're going to need and might really help you. And again, I have the benefit of seeing a lot of the anecdotal evidence. I know what ASEA is, and it drives me, and it should drive everyone who has seen what it is and what it can do to not stop talking about it with everyone. So pass it back.
You're an amazing human being, Jon. You're
Oh,
saving lives in more ways than one. And as I mentioned earlier, you've certainly made an incredibly huge difference to our life. I wrote a letter to Verdis, we both did, about our perspective and our stories and how our lives have changed. And all I can say is we are beyond grateful. Thank you for being who you are, for having the conviction, the believability, the compassion, and the love that you have for mankind. And we're so grateful to you and your family. Thank you for changing all of our lives all around the world. And it's only just beginning. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
so much for your time. Let you get back to your family. Enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving. And if you're hitting the Sundance slopes in the next few weeks, we'll be probably a yard sale happening on the slopes, but we'll be there.
We'll see if we can find some time we can get together.
Enjoy it. You're going to have a great time.
Thank
Okay,
you
thanks.
so much, Jon.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks.
you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Let you go.
Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I'm so excited that as many of you are on the line today to have been able to catch Jon live, to be able to hear that story. So we'll certainly get the recording out to all of you as well. We have another amazing guest that we want to introduce, and then we're going to go through a phenomenal promotion that we have a very patient and amazing cross-line friends on waiting for us to go through that. So we've got Alissa Tucker joining us from Adelaide. Are you there, Alissa? Because I know that you're having audio challenges with your computer, so we'll just see if you can get on. There you are. Can we hear?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I meant to say, can you hear us? Not can we hear you?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
I
joining.
can't see you, but that's okay.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that Bart and I spent a little bit of time with you a couple of weeks ago in Adelaide. And one of the reasons why we invited you on today is because your life is out of control in a good way. You're making a huge difference to a lot of people, but you're an amazing businesswoman. And something that really inspired me about you is that amongst all the achievements that you've had in your life, and particularly the amazing corporation that you're running with Family Time Australia, with helping so many children, with therapists, you've got 11 therapists, you've got 17 support consultants that are with you. You're running a multi-million-dollar business. And somehow in all of this, you have found the time to do ASEA. And I was curious because we were watching you fit it into the cracks, but I really wanted you to impart your wisdom today on how you're actually doing this business and why you've chosen to do ASEA when you're already incredibly successful as an entrepreneur in your own right. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here. Do you want me to start talking or do you want to ask some questions? So I came across ASEA 4 years ago, and pretty much, as Jon said, it was just another product and chucked it in the cupboard. It wasn't in my research throughout my own clinic and research on my own health that I really realized the power of what a redox molecule is. And once I realized that, and I'd been to one of your Envision, my very first Envision in 2018, it really gave me the passion to know that I need to do something more than what I can just offer in my clinic, that therapy is amazing, but we can only do so much. And so I realized the power of what this was and thought I have to find a way to fit this in with what I'm doing, because I know it's going to be a huge contribution to my vision and my mission to help as many families as I can. So that's, I guess, how my passion started, and why I make sure that I find time to really sneak it into my day. I find that with ASEA, it's my long-term plan. It's certainly not something that, as Jon was saying before, it just miraculously happens and we, make stacks of money and share it with thousands of people within the first few weeks or months. So I really can see the future and the importance of continuing to chip away at sharing it and making sure other people can see the power of what this redox molecule does too. So yeah, it's really massive passion of mine to make sure I can sneak it into my day and continue to chip away at what I can do to share these redox molecules with as many people as I can.
So when you say that you're slipping it into your day, I mean, you're at the photocopier at work, you're sending text messages, you're in the grocery line and you're emailing people, you've got it all scheduled with the little time that you do have. Because what is your typical work week with Family Time Australia? How many hours do you put in there?
Oh, I'd easily put in 60 hours a week with family time. So yeah, it is about squeezing it in. So I do have some set times where I put them to do 3 books, because I find they're not something you can really sneak into your day. You have to be really present, have to have no distractions. So I decide like Wednesday mornings and Friday afternoons and the weekends so that I can give time to my team to do 3-way calls. But then the good thing about it here is you can sneak in the quick catch-up calls, people on how they're going with their backs. You can do that, look at that at the photocopier. And also checking in with your downline, how they're going, what's happening, how they're going with supporting your team. So those kind of things you can do sneaking in the day. But I think it is important to schedule as much time as a block besides the focus on 3-way calls.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Alissa, so I'll just, I think it's an internet on your end, I'm not sure, but I'll just fill in a little bit of that information. So Alissa was saying that she definitely schedules times that she can be 100% present during her 3-way phone calls with her team. And one of the reasons why Alissa's on is because a lot of people can't start ASEA full time, and nor should they. It's a phenomenal opportunity to be able to build an amazing business with the only product of its kind anywhere in the world without changing our current schedule. So there's a lot of people, I mean, they say if you want something done, you give it to the busiest person. So there's a lot of people who don't work 60 hours a week, maybe 40, but they might sort of say they don't have time in a 40-hour work week to do ASEA. So Alissa's living proof that when you have passion, when you have conviction, like what Jon's saying, which is absolutely what Alissa has, because we watched her in action. She's phenomenal with enrolling people with entrepreneur and business packs. So we've seen her in action, and we know that her heart is absolutely there, and that's what comes across to people. But as far as being able to rank advance quickly, I know we were chatting yesterday, Alissa, you went gold in your first 5 weeks as an associate when you were able to dedicate a little bit more time to it back then. And I know you have achieved Reach for the Beach this year. You've been a top emerging leader several times. You were on the top 10 again, recognized over the last few weeks with emerging leaders. So you are absolutely moving forward. You're making progress. You're not letting any excuses or anything hold you up to stop you from fulfilling your vision. So did you want to tell us just a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it's really important to not be disheartened, because if you're not doing this full time, it is hard to kind of rank advance all the time. Yeah, I hit gold in 5 weeks for my first 5 weeks because I was so passionate and I did do it full time. I kind of put family time in the back burner. But then family time started slipping away, and there was a few business issues that I really had to step forward in. So the way that life is, and I know a lot of people, they don't have the opportunity to just jump full time. Can you hear me or not?
We can.
Yeah.
Thanks.
They don't have the time to jump in full time because that's the way life is, or their children are going through something, or there's something happening with your family. So there's always going to be things that sometimes prevent you from really doing your full passion for a season. But I found that, if you can squeeze it in, and though I can't do it full time like I did for the first 5 weeks, I can still grow the business. And I was getting disheartened, going, I'm not rank advancing. This isn't fair. Maybe I should give up. Maybe I should quit family time. Maybe I should, all these maybes. And I really had to look back, as you said, Melissa, and reflect and go, even though I haven't rank advanced, I have still grown my team. I have still shared other people. I have still been an impact on other people's lives. And just to keep chipping away at that, full well knowing that eventually, as Jon said, it and hopefully reach even more people and save more people's lives. But to be disheartened because you haven't advanced, because you are still making a difference in other people's lives. So yeah, I think it's really important to reflect on that.
You're an inspiration.
You absolutely are, Alissa. And she's also, just to put things into perspective, she was a finalist in the 2015 Telstra Business Awards. So this woman knows how to run a business, and we're just so excited that you have the vision for ASEA and that you're doing what you're doing. And it was a great honour for us to spend some time with you the other few weeks ago. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. And there's Skylar. You're cute.
Oh, we got to see Skylar really quick.
Come to say hello.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful cat.
I must have heard your voices. It was lovely to have you guys here and a real encouragement. And I think for people that are feeling like, they're working full time and they're a bit lost, tap in. Like I found having you guys here and being a part of the Ellen Noble event and having your encouragement just continued to help me and to encourage me to keep going and chip away in my little cracks of the day and make those little calls as much as I can. So thanks so much for your encouragement to me to keep sharing it in my little pockets of my busy life.
You're an amazing woman, Alissa. Thanks for sharing with us today, and we'll catch up with you soon. So
thank you guys.
Have a great
encouraging.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're moving through. I just wanted to let you know that we're going to just introduce a promotion. Bart's mostly going to talk about it, that will be launching in Australia on Monday. And we're going to share a few details about that. We can't get flyers or anything out until Monday officially, but we want to let you know so that then we can bring on our special Crossline guests to share with you the magic that they've created thanks to this promotion.
So for all those in Australia and New Zealand, you're among the very first to know before the big announcement gets out. This is the holiday promotion. Giving the gift of ASEA, and as Melissa mentioned, we've got some very special guests that are going to share how they've really maximized this promotion. Just to let you know, starting Monday at 12:01 a.m., that's like first thing Monday here in Australia time, that'd be Brisbane time, Queensland time, just so you know exactly when this starts. If you get 2 cases of ASEA or 2 cases of Renew 28, the company's going to gift you 2 free tubes of Renew 28 and 6 sample tubes, which is a significant value, about $150 value approximately. And so this is a great way to kind of get some products and to stock up. Now there's no limitation. So these bundles, they're calling them bundles. You can get multiple bundles. You can really take advantage of this and get some products to share. So with that in mind,
it runs through to December 31st, and the reason why we're making it a point about it being Australian times is typically all promotions we've had in the past have always been based on US times.
Exactly.
So keep in mind that this is Australian times. So just to go through a few points here in terms of the promotion. So you access it via your shopping cart, your ASEA virtual office. As Bart mentioned, there's no limit to the number of ordered bundles that associates and preferred customers can order.
So there's no limit to the free extra product that you'll get.
That's right, yeah. On-demand orders only, so you can't combine this promotion with auto ship or enrollment orders. And you buy when family and friends come to visit you through the holidays, have some stock on hand too to be able to show them and give us gifts, and leverage this promotion. As Ed was saying in the beginning of the call, keep your volume high through the holiday season. That's such a gift for all of us as business builders in ASEA through this season coming up. And if you're going to place orders, just as a tip, place them at the bottom of your lesser leg so that everyone in that tree benefits. And if you don't know how to do that, just call customer support and they'll walk you through that process.
Some people use the holidays as an excuse to not do business, and other people, in fact, if you were to talk to Eric Worre and the top leaders, they would say this is the perfect time to really move your business forward. Because this is the time that we're getting together with friends and family and talking with people. It's the time that, particularly with this promotion. And with that, we'd like to introduce our special guests.
We've got Dr. Michele Lay, Dave Struckman, we've got Lynette L'Amour and Miriam Spencer. So I'll just stop the share again. We are so grateful to all of you for coming on today. How lucky are we? Thank you so much, particularly because it's your holiday time. So where did you want to start?
Yeah, so Dave, why don't you go ahead and kick us off and tell us, I mean, you guys have absolutely kicked some huge goals with this, and you've really done some amazing things. Let's see, Dave, you're muted, so you just need to unmute your mic, and we'd love to hear how you've taken advantage of this, because I know that you've had some great things. We can unmute. Do
Incredible
you want to
success.
unmute him as well?
Yeah.
I got it. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. First off, what a great meeting, and I'm just humbled by the fact that Jon Norton came out. What incredible front row seat we just had to the beginning of the company and what happened at the beginning. So just want to say thank you for allowing us to be here. I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm jealous because you guys don't start till Monday. We're ending tonight in the USA at midnight Eastern, so we're done. But the second day into it, I was kind of looking at the bundles, and you got the 2 with the liquid, you got the 1 with the gel, and the 1 with the gel just kind of stuck out at me. And the reason is when I first got started, I'd only been in 2, maybe 3 weeks, and I went to a meeting in Seattle, and there was a Dr. Dick Walker, and he was up, and he did a demo that I watched that I couldn't believe. He said, how many people in the audience have pain? And all these hands shot up, and he said, okay, I'm going to have my assistant walk around as you explain your discomfort, your pain. And everybody was saying, well, I got carpal tunnel syndrome or a neck ache, and they gave it on a scale of 1 to 10, 7 or 8, and sometimes, higher. And as they took the samplers around, all these people shook it up, put it on 3 times in 5 minutes, and then he had them all sit down. 10 minutes later, they stood back up, they passed the microphone again. I was in shock that every one of these people, they had dropped or it was gone as far as the discomfort, and it was very significant. I went, aha. The gel is the aha, where the redox takes longer from the inside out. So I always kind of knew this in the back of my head as I started the journey of introducing other people, that the gel could have an immediate effect. And of course, they had those little tiny samples. And I thought, gee whiz, it'd be great if one day we had a lot of gel just to hand out. So that picture that you just showed, number 2, the one with all the gel, 8 tubes of gel plus 2 free. And I did the math. I went, this has got to be the answer. This is not a gift from ASEA to us. It's the gift that we need to turn around and keep on giving to make our group explode at the end of January. So I came together with Dr. Michele originally, and I ran the idea by her, and she was, oh my God, this is the best idea that we've talked about. Because what could happen, they could hand all these tubes of gel out for Christmas gifts, using it 3 times in 5 minutes, maybe the 50 ways to use Renew 28 attached to it. And by the end of January, they're going to come back to you and say, I'm addicted to no more discomfort. I would like to buy another tube of that gel. Can I get it from you? Well, the answer is no. You can get it directly from the company like I do, and you can get it wholesale. Then you start that person on the videos. So I started talking originally with Dr. Michele Lay about it, and she said, we could get from 1/3 to 1/2 of whatever is in the bundle with each person that they're going to give out for Christmas gifts coming back by the end of January. This could be something to explode exponentially the growth of our team. So we went in with that mindset. That's exactly what we did. We got people buying 3 bundles, 4 bundles, 5 bundles, and even more. And I'm going to take it to Dr. Michele next because she's going to take it. We were on the phone together. We kind of figured this out, and we took it to our team. It has gone viral. I'm still jealous. I just would like over the weekend till Monday, because we probably got 100 bundles coming in today just today alone in our group.
Oh, Dave, you took the absolutely. Go ahead, Bart.
Look, I was just going to say, in fact, I was excited to hear how you guys rank advanced, how you, I know Dave got an EMP bonus for platinum
Yes.
for a couple of weeks, and you guys have just really been kicking goals with this. And in fact, I think that this helped you to rank advanced too. In fact, you were kind of the inspiration. Do you want to just share this story and how this has helped your business?
We didn't look at the back end of it. You get all these extra points in a week, and all of a sudden, I've been platinum, gold, platinum, gold, platinum, gold, back and forth. And all of a sudden, 2 out of 3 weeks I hit platinum was just because only of the bundle sales coming in. So it's kind of the gift that helped us too. But on the other hand, our focus was just helping our people grow their group at the end of January. But it kind of went, it's the gift that keeps on giving. That's all I can say.
Excellent. Yeah, Dr. Michele, we'd love to hear your perspective and how this, because I think you were sort of the inspiration of this to begin with too. So maybe share that with us.
Tell you what, it has been incredible. And Dave took the words right out of my mouth. We're very, very jealous. I'm ready to move to Australia and all the other countries that are starting this incentive. I'm ready to start it all over again. So we're very sad that ours ends tonight. But what a last few weeks that it has been. But yeah, like Dave said, we really have been honing in on the gel package, because the way we saw it from the beginning is that's 10 gifts. You know, 2 of them are free. And so we're just encouraging everyone on our team, or we have been, to make a list of everyone that you exchange gifts with. Maybe it's customers or clients or employees, or maybe your friends and family and neighbors, or, you know, anyone that you exchange gifts with each year. You know, the teachers that maybe your kids have, or maybe your kids play organized sports and you've got coaches. Everyone you do business with. You know, if you have someone to cut your grass, or if you go get your nails done, or where you get your hair cut at, all kinds of places that you do business with, you know, make a list of all of those and get 4 or 5 bundles. You know, get one a week if you can't get them all at the same time. And then you can have 10 gifts for each bundle that you purchase, if you hone in on that gel one. And then decorate the box, make it very festive, you know, attach the directions to it on how to use it, make it real clear with the 3 times in 5 minutes, and rub it in and let it dry in between. And attach the 50 ways to use Renew 28. That's another thing that we're promoting. You know, roll it up like a little scroll, print it off, and maybe attach that with a ribbon, and give people expectations on what they're going to notice. You know, let them know, hey, rate your discomfort in the beginning, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, and after 10 minutes, notice what happens, because you'll feel the aha, wow, this is really from that. And, you know, like Dave said, the more you give, the more you get. And we're really excited to see what happens in January after the holidays. When people run out, they're going to want to know where they can get it from. So I'll kick it to Miriam. Maybe she can pick up from there.
Yes, good morning, Australia. Can you hear me okay? I'm a little under the weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to see you, Melissa and Bart, again. I met you at convention in September, and it's Black Friday here, and here we are, and I'm in Australia for a few minutes. But it's Black Friday, so people are right now, since last night, been going out looking for the perfect gift. Everybody's shopping. It's holiday time. You know, everybody's looking for the perfect gift. I got mine. You know, we've all been shopping on this team for the last 3 weeks online, getting our bundles. We've got bundles everywhere on this team. And it feels really good to know that we do have a gift that's going to keep on giving. It's not only going to come back to us, but when people receive this, they're going to get a little comfort today, a little more comfort tomorrow. It's going to keep on giving to them every single day. So they say that, you know, it's better to give than to receive. But with this gift, everybody's receiving. Besides, you need a receiver in order to gift, or else there's no giving. So you need a receiver. Everybody's receiving with this gift all the time. So it comes back to us, but it goes more importantly to them. They're going to come back for more. So yes, I agree. Put it in a nice wrapping or packaging. Make your list and check it twice and find out who's naughty and nice, and give them the gift anyway. Just give them the gift, even if they're naughty, because you know what? They might just feel better. They might feel better, and they won't be so naughty next time. They'll be coming back for more. So I'm excited about the promotion. I'm jealous too. And you guys are gonna knock it out of the park this next month over in Australia. So congratulations, promotion is there. And I'm gonna hand it off to Lynette.
Thanks, Miriam.
Thank you.
I'll just unmute Lynette.
Let's unmute you, Lynette.
There we go.
Yes,
There.
I encourage everyone to approach this with a sense of urgency, because there's a deadline. It's not going to continue into the new year. It ends on December 31st for you guys in Australia. Ours ends today. You talk to everybody on your team, you make a list, and you share it with people. I encourage people to share it with people who have a certain sphere of influence with a large group of people, not just the people who are hurting, but people who, like I shared it with this guy who owns a restaurant. I shared it with my pastor in church. You think of people who know a lot of people, because next year, after they use the first tube of gel that you give them, then they would share it with the people that they know, and they would share it with people that they know. Last night I went to Thanksgiving, I was invited to Thanksgiving dinner, and there was a little kid there that had bruised his forehead. So I took my gel out and I applied it on him. I ended up talking to 2 other couples there, and I gave out 2 tubes of gel last night. So you think of ways that you could share it, because these people, one lady had cancer, right? And her husband was a pastor. So that was another pastor that got it. So you just talk to people, share it with people, and just be generous at this time of the year. Just give it to people, because it's the gift that keeps on giving, and it will certainly come back to you many times over next year with increased profitability, increased volume in your business.
Yeah, this really makes a lot of sense. I've got a couple questions for whichever one of you wants to answer this, but
thank you, Lynette.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. In terms of the sample tubes, are you using those to, you know, when you order a package, you got some sample, are you doing the 3 and 5 when you give the gift in the first place? And maybe you can also talk to what you do in terms of following up and maybe giving them some additional information or whatever that looks like for you.
I'll jump out there first. I just really thought that the sample tube was great, but there's only maybe, what, 2 to 3 days worth of usage out of it. And I saw the big tube as a great way if we could get people to do what we trained on, to go ahead and get people on it for 30 days. Whereas people want to try something out. You can't really try out the liquid with 1 bottle for 1 week and see results, but you've got 3 to 4 weeks worth of usage out of the big tube. So, I mean, the small tubes are great too, and maybe that's a great way for an immediate reaction to someone that has discomfort. But I see the large tubes of gel, people become addicted to no more discomfort or no more pain. They'll come back around. I know that.
Yeah. So when you give the gift, are you doing the 3 and 5 typically there with them to demonstrate it?
You know, that's a good idea. I hadn't really thought of that. I just wanted to keep it kind of looking like the brand new gift with the ribbon around it and all that. But given the instructions out, you want to give enough out to that person that they're curious. They're going to say, okay, Dave said 3 times in 5 minutes, and then I should feel a difference in 10. They're going to test it out. They're going to see, I wonder what kind of gift I got from Dave. Let's see if it works. That's my challenge to them, is to go ahead and use that gift over the next 30 days. Does that make sense? Sure,
absolutely. Yeah, the other thing that you know, because these are business, you know, because it's business product and they're given out as gift like that, there's also tax advantages too. So that just makes sense for people that at this time of year to kind of get a double benefit that way as well. So fantastic. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing that, and we're excited about getting the gift that keeps on giving, moving through our team, using this as a tool to promote. So any other
comments that the 4 of you want to add?
I want to say one more thing. For the people, there's a lot of people in our group that come in, they get on the auto ship, they maybe buy a case and a tube or a case and 2 tubes when they first start. Then they do 100 points a month on the auto ship. This gets them back on the gel because they're going to sneak a couple tubes out to use themselves too. So that is a good effect too, because they're going to get back on auto ship and make sure they include a tube of gel. And Dr. Michele, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And one final thought I had was just to kind of stay on top of your personals. And we try to teach our personals to direct everything that we send to them to their personals and so on. So no one falls through the cracks, or as few as possible. And so we kind of sent reminders, you know, at least once or twice a week, you know, hey guys, you know, we're into our first week of the incentive. Just wanted to make sure you guys have gotten some bundles already. Start making your list and just encouraging people as you go. And each time we would send them out, people would say, incentive? Wait. And so you'd always have questions. And then that would just be a great way to plug people back in and send them a replay of of one of our team calls or of the corporate call where they gave more information about it. And now we're at the very, very end, and we've had just bundles come in all day long. Today has been like, you know, it's just human nature. Everyone waits to the very, very last day, Black Friday, of course. You know, do all your Black Friday shopping sitting on the couch and don't even get out in the crowd. So yeah, however you can promote it, just make sure that you get the duplication in there, because this is huge. You guys are going to kill this.
I want to say one thing. We did text messages daily, but we started like a 7-day countdown, and Miriam Spencer is like the editor of our newsletter every single day for the past 2 weeks. The daily reminder, right, Miriam?
Every day we could, your day number 7, number 6, number 5, number 4. You know, today was last day. This is it. You only have today left. Get your bundles. And everyone on this team has at least bought 2 bundles, if not more.
Everybody.
So we all lead by example. We buy more than 1 bundle, and we encourage our team to do the same. And it's working.
That's
May I
fantastic.
add? May I add one thing?
Yes.
There are creative ways to give the gift out. You add the list with the 50 ways to use the Renew 28 gel along with the gift, so they know how to use the gift. And there are different creative ways to give it, either with a little gift bag, or you could just wrap the 50 ways around it with a bow. People could get very creative. It's the holiday season, and there are lots of creative ways to give it out. So use your imagination and just give the gift that keeps on giving.
Do you also, I know in John Bash's newsletter, he had some images of the thermography that shows the before and after with the inflammation, also maybe some before and after photos that can be done. Some of the testimonial books, is that something that you've incorporated into this as you share from time to time? Some of you want to comment on that?
I've sent that out in the newsletter for educational purposes for our associates. I don't think we've encouraged anyone to hand that out, but you know, it's there if they need more information. It's an excellent handout, that thermography. Yes. Any comments?
I've shown pictures, before and after pictures to people before giving the gift out, and that has helped. Because people can't believe that what is done for people in a short period of time with the Renew 28 gel. So it's a good thing to do, to share it.
May I add one thing in there? The ASEA Connect that everybody has, that downloadable application. There's one photo there of this lady. There it is right there. That's the photo that Miriam's holding up. That's the one that we're seeing wrapped around the gift at the very back end of it, front and back, because that deals with the discomfort and the directions. And again, I didn't realize that, but that was on ASEA Connect right there. She's got it turned into a flyer, which is now wrapping paper.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow.
Miriam, maybe you can, when you hold that up, you can just talk for a second, and we've got you on main screen, so we'll see, everybody will see that.
So just
Okay, well, this is what is on ASEA Connect, and it says, how would you like relief in 15 minutes? Discomfort, stiffness, tightness, or restricted movement in your body? Try these 3 simple steps. And it goes through the steps, and then in the back, it says ways to use the Redox gel. And what I like about it is that it's visual. It's, you know, it gets your attention. It's a nicely done handout. So you fold it, and you fold it again, and you take a box, I don't have my box, and you wrap it around the bottom of the box, make this like a holder to hold the box, put a little ribbon around it, and a cane, you know, a candy cane, and there's your gift.
wow.
Shirley Schaumback came up with that. Gary and Shirley Schaumback. And they sent a big picture. I went, what does that say? How did you guys do that? So they shared with all of us, and it's gone viral. It's a good idea.
Well, you've certainly all broken records and had phenomenal success, and we want to make sure everyone on the line gives you all a gift of a hug next time they see you because you didn't have to come on tonight. You've sat patiently and waited through the call, and we're truly grateful. You're all obviously creative, amazing business men and women who are happy to share, and we are excited with what we have ahead of us, because as Ed said in the beginning, ASEA doesn't usually do promotions this good. This is an amazing promotion for us, and the fact that it's only till the 31st of December. We need to jump on it. We need to be ready for Monday. So thank you for your creative inspiration, your ideas. Miriam had mentioned the newsletters. So I will be getting out newsletters frequently with the information to remind you all, as well as remember to check out the ASEA Connect app for what Miriam was holding up. Was it the back page as well that was on the ASEA Connect app, Miriam?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
this is the front page.
Yep.
And then this is the back.
Brilliant.
That's
I love it.
great. That's perfect. And we've got some images to kind of show how you package that up too. And thank you for doing all the legwork so that we can model some of what you've already put together and done. So your expertise and wisdom, yeah.
We'll have to return the favor in kind if ever they release to us first. But
that's right.
Well, you already did. You gave us an 11.5-minute video of the breakthrough. We've got that going viral too. So you've already blessed our team, and I want to
thank you.
Oh, that's Julie and Bart. You're so welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bart and Melissa, for a wonderful call. Wow, wonderful leadership call.
Dr. Michele,
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. So I'll let you go and digest yesterday's food.
That's right.
So just one final thought on this gift that keeps on giving. I think you guys have made it abundantly clear, but it's great if you want to stock up on a little bit of extra ASEA, because we can always use that. That's a consumable product. But Dave made the point, you wouldn't give a bottle of ASEA to someone because you'd really be setting them up for failure, quite frankly. You want to make sure that they're on a 90-day plan. But with the Renew 28, you can absolutely give that as a gift where people can see results quickly and they can experience that. So that's why this promotion works so well, the way that they've laid it out. And thank you again for sharing all those fantastic ideas, and I appreciate your patience while we've gone through some of the other speakers before. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'll chat with you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And I did have the wrong head on the wrong name. So sorry, Miriam. That was late last night, so I apologize. Oh, you get to be each other for 15 minutes. Okay, here's just to summarize a little bit of what everyone was talking about. I'll just go ahead and just make sure everyone's muted again. In terms of the gift that keeps on giving. So this was a screenshot from Miriam's newsletter. So it's easy to give the gift with no strings attached. Make a list of people you'd like to gift, order enough product and some extra, wrap it nicely, include the 50 ways to use Renew, and include application instructions, and give it away. Order today. And then this was what they'd created in terms of the front of, like, I guess a card. It is with the 50 ways to use Renew 28 that's on the back, so you can fold that. Will be included in the newsletter. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can print those out if you have a little bit nicer paper on your own printer, or you could take it to an Officeworks or something like that and have it printed out nicely too.
Staples if you're in the States.
Yeah.
And then this is another version of what Miriam was talking about in terms of the 3 in 5. So 3 times in 5 minutes, apply, then wait 10 minutes. And so get people to rate themselves, of course, their level of discomfort. And remember to let them know they need to shake the tube vigorously before applying. So I'll include this in the newsletter as well. And this is what one of the ladies was talking about in terms of, I think, Dr. Michele wrapping it beautifully for people. So this is an idea that came from Nancy Brighton, yet again from John Bash and Miriam's newsletter. So it's just letting you know how you can be creative. I like the idea of using the wrapping paper of the actual 3 in 5 itself. So yeah, so get creative and have fun with it is the main point. So anything else about the promotion before we move on? No,
that's great, guys. Let's just Monday bright and early, let's get the orders in. Let's get these packages working, and then let's create some momentum from that. So you can, as you're following up with people, you're going to find people that are customers, associates, people that want to definitely be business, grow this business too. So let's just create some momentum and have some fun.
Get off.
And let's see, we've got a couple of you talking. So let's see. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Oh, let's actually, if we can just take a minute. Coppo, are you still there with us? If you are, love to have you unmute and just say hello and congratulations on going diamond.
If he's there, he might not be there.
Hey, I think he just unmuted. Are you there? You there, Coppo?
I don't know whether you can hear my voice, but
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, we
there you
need
go.
to- Steve Copping, guys, this is a tremendous leader, a man who's been in this profession, this industry for quite some time, and you're seeing the reward. So it's paid off for you. You're over in Malaysia right now, so it's bright and early. But I didn't have a clue until this morning. Got a text from Mal Sword that you had just got over the top. You just achieved the diamond level, and fantastic. That's just amazing, mate. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's. I said to Mal, when you open up your account and it says your next pin is double diamond, does that mean you're a diamond?
Yes, it does.
That's what happens when you
we-
stay consistent. You don't give up. Hopefully you set your sights high.
So I wasn't quite sure how the old PG50 and all that worked, but we got there, and yes. So, yeah, no, it's great, awesome. Mm.
You know, you're a perfect example of what Jon Norton was saying before, where sometimes the rewards don't come as quickly, but if you're patient, persistent, and consistent, because I know that you were patiently persistent and consistent, and things really picked up this last year or so for you. So congratulations.
Yeah, well, we always talked about a 2 to 5 year plan, but I just had to keep resetting the plan. My path took a bit longer than that, but the old story, I think it's doesn't matter how long it takes to get there. It's, just as long as you get there and the view's the same, and but 80% of you will come in the last 20% of your effort. So and I think playing sport's a great life teacher, and it's always dream, struggle, victory. And for anyone out there, I think it's just you're one person away from an explosion. I heard once that sometimes I just didn't realise that was me. But in the ASEA structure and how the compensation plan works, it takes a while to get some traction, but when you do, it can really explode. So it's this could never happen in my previous life. So for anyone out there, it's just a matter of hanging there and keep turning the rocks over, and eventually you'll find a couple of people that will run, and then away you go.
Your rank advancement couldn't have happened to a better couple, Steve. We're really excited for both of you, and you're a tremendous leader. You are obviously, like you say, with your background success in sport, how you've been able to apply that to your life. But we're excited about all the lives that you've changed already, and the lives around the world you're going to continue to change. And I know you recently retired from a career or a job that you've had for how long? How long was that?
That was 13 years, and I remember a mentor of mine once said, you have to win on a daily basis outside of your job. And I think a lot of people come into the business needing it to work, and that was great advice. So I pulled the pin, some years ago, but I didn't have the wisdom then. But so I made sure I did it right this time. But I just like to pay a tribute to Mal. If I hung on to his shirt when a lot of people advised me not to, and he's really stood by me, and it was the best decision I'd ever made. So there's a lot of thanks to Mel.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
And Mal is.
He is a tremendous leader and mentor, and so we really appreciate you guys, and appreciate both of you.
And to you guys too. I mean, you can be very fortunate where you fall into the tree in this industry, and I'm so blessed. There's no gaps in the chain going right up to as far as Ed and beyond, and through Mal, Danny, yourselves, and Ed. It's just the support you give to everyone, and like the call this morning is, it's just sometimes you've got to pinch yourself how lucky you are. So really appreciate what you guys have done too.
Well, thanks for
Thank
jumping.
you so much, Steve.
Absolutely. And thanks for jumping on and saying a few words. Again, massive congratulations to you. You're a tremendous leader, and we couldn't be more thrilled.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
enjoy Malaysia.
Thanks very much.
No retirement.
Catch you guys. Bye.
Thanks, Steve. Okay. What we're going to do is the rest of the presentation won't take really that long. It's just updating you on what's coming up.
Some very important
some,
events coming up.
Yeah, announcements. Of course, keep your eye for those of you on Envision who are going to be in Envision Europe, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, North America. So I'll go into a little bit more on information about Australia because today is the cutoff date. This is the last date to buy your more inexpensive tickets for Envision and also for Australia's peak performance training. So that's both of those are for the Australian events. So I'll go through that in just a second. So of course, Ascent, we've got the amazing Dubrovnik that many of you are working toward in May, which is really exciting. So many diamond leaders are going to be there. It's easy to be able to check the leaderboard and to have a look at what's going on in your virtual office dashboard as well. So make sure you've got your team on a plan for Ascent and you're working on a plan for Ascent if you qualify between bronze and platinum.
Absolutely. When you click on this widget, all the rules, everything will be there on how to qualify for that. You can see the leader, you can check out the leaderboard, the prizes, the overview, the rules, all right at the top of this little widget. This incentive, the qualification period goes through March 6th. And so to be able to qualify to go, you just need to be at the bronze level. And then as you earn points, bronze would, for each time you achieve bronze, you'd earn 1 point, silver 2 points, gold 3 points for each week that you qualify at those levels. And you can earn the ability to have the company pay for your trip, pay for the travel, pay for your room as well. But this is a place where you get to really network with the top leaders and just a fantastic incentive trip. So absolutely go for it and make it happen.
And leverage off this promotion to help get you there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
This will be the momentum you
that's right. So the gift that keeps on giving promotion will help move you right into this.
Absolutely. And here are the people so far in our team who are in 4th or 5th place for the Croatia Ascent trip. So congratulations to all of you here that's listed. Well done.
Yep, the early winners already.
Yep, definitely. Okay, of course, there's Ascent Asia for you to remember in Bali, 10th to the 14th of June for your Asian connections, and Diamond Summit, which is straight after Dubrovnik, so 5th to the 9th of May for those of you who are working toward qualifying for a Diamond Summit. And as well as a Diamond Summit separate in Bali for Asia as well in June. So it's great the company's broken that down. And of course, there's a legacy trip for the ambassador ranks in Bora Bora in October. So the company provides so many amazing incentives and promotions and trips for all of us. And to structure our business around these events is really important to be able to plan it out 12 months ahead and build event to event and structure it so that you're qualifying for these promotions. So in terms of important announcements moving forward, of course, ASEA Connect, keep using ASEA Connect. It's an invaluable resource. Nobody else in our profession has access to this mobile app. It's the best in the industry. And here's a couple of, there's a website for you to get some more information answered if you're still not sure about the transition from Genie across. And you can, of course, download the app from the App Store or Google Play as well. So remember to talk enrollment packs. I know we've got this exciting announcement, promotion, but remember enrollment packs and loyalty rewards that go along with the enrollment packs in the US. Here is their enrollment packs as well.
Definitely make sure that you take time to share with people the advantage of coming in with an entrepreneur pack. They start off with a whole lot more loyalty points to begin with. Of course, the business packs are our second best option. So I kind of look at it as good, better, and best. This loyalty program is something that we really want to educate people on when they enroll. That way they're staying consistent. It's going to help you to qualify. It's going to help them to get the best results on the product and to earn a lot of free product too. So,
and I know that Bart often sends the free product that we earn to people who really need it as well. So it is a gift that ASEA are giving us. So just to let you know, upcoming events, you can log on to A-Team Support, Passwords Associate for global events. That's one place to go. And also Redox Diamonds, the Passwords Associate for Australia. These are Australian events, redoxdiamonds.com.
Yeah, the only thing you need the associate for are the recordings. Otherwise, you can just get, you can get in and find out who the expert in the house is and so forth. But when you click on members, that's where you'd use the associate, and you can have all the previous recordings of the expert in the house right there.
And our peak performance trainings.
That's right.
And then Alissa and a couple of other ladies have put together Redox Events Australia, New Zealand, a Facebook group. That's a great place to go to get updated and stay on top of what's happening in Australia. And of course, December coming up, just to let you know, Monday night team call. It's Monday 12:30 Brisbane time, or 1:30 Victoria time. Steve, just need you to mute there, Steve. I'll do it for him. I can't do it right now. Okay, there you go. Okay, so Ed and Rebecca's team call is a phenomenal call. They have lots of exciting people on. It's run weekly and they do a brilliant job. And then we've got Steve Copping, who will be featuring on Monday night, 2nd of December. Christine Williams training sessions are every Monday night in Australia, so keep an eye on these times. Take a screenshot if you need to. You'll hear from Steve on Monday. We're really excited for Steve to be doing that call. And then Christina, just so you know, will be in Singapore on the 3rd of December. So take a screenshot of where she'll be. Feel free to invite people along. Christina, as you all know, is an amazing professional in this business, an incredible leader, and inspiring human being. So she will take care of your people and do a phenomenal job. And of course, she will be in Malaysia on Wednesday, the 4th and 5th of December, coming up next week as well.
This is a very exciting market. It's growing very, very rapidly. If you know anybody in the Malaysia area, these events will sell out. They're limited space in these rooms. So if you've got people, definitely want to get them registered for these.
And Bart will be next week's Australian Expert in the House host. So plug in. Bart does a brilliant job. And he will be there, for you to be able to bring your guests to, and it'll be a great, great call. They didn't have the right time on these leadership calls, product training calls from ASEA Corporate. So when you log into your virtual office, the wrong times are listed. I'm not sure when they're at. Keep an eye on that, but it will certainly be Wednesday in Australia, which would be the 4th, 11th and 18th of December. And then, of course, there's a couple of events in North America for you to keep an eye on: San Diego, Indianapolis, and Woodland Hills in California. As well as looking at February, March. Our next leadership webinar is on Saturday, the 1st of February. So if you want to take a screenshot of these dates, these will be the upcoming webinars next year in 2020.
Put that in your calendar and make sure that you promote that, promote that to your team.
Up to $99 US. So make some phone calls today to get your people to purchase their Envision tickets today before the prices go up. And of course, as you may know, half-day training for the Ethos training from Tyler Norton, John's brother, and Saturday full-day event as well, which is a phenomenal corporate event, an annual event. More information and tickets ASEAEvents.com. That's where you get your tickets from. And of course, the Diamond Leadership put together a peak performance training on Sunday, March 1st next year. The ticket prices go up from $67. They go up tomorrow. So yet again, log on to redoxdiamonds.com to purchase your tickets and encourage your team to do the same. So of course, we need to mention, and for you to plan ahead for convention, the 10-year convention. There's lots of people going who haven't been able to attend convention before because of a financial commitment or work ties or whatever it might be. They're going to this one. So tickets are on sale again January 5, but schedule your plan ahead, schedule around it right now to be there. Beautiful Anaheim Convention Center. It'll be a lot of fun.
And really on these events, both the Envision, the peak performance and the global convention, the Ascent, make sure that you not just plan for yourself to be there, but set a goal. How many people on your team do you want to be there? Because this is the time that your business will explode, because big decisions are made at big events.
And as a tip, when you're enrolling new associates who are interested in doing ASEA as a business, as a profession, let them know about these events. Help them to get tickets when they enroll. get them straight away so that they're locked in and they have something big to look forward to that will also help them to develop depth and conviction, and get them to these events. The events will do the work for you.
It's definitely not a bad idea to pick up some extra tickets, particularly where you got the reduced price right now, and then make sure that you have those available for your new people that come on at the discounted rate.
Here's a couple of websites just in case there's a bit of confusion as to where to go to find events or to purchase tickets. And the redoxshop.com in Australia, local shipping from Melbourne. So be sure to check out these phenomenal resources. Dr. Rob Ward's books there, as well as Dr. Gary Samuelson's book as well. And Bart managed to get Dr. Rob Ward's book discounted for us in Australia. So it's a phenomenal rate. I don't believe that the Americans have access to this discounted rate, but make sure that you order your books today so you have someone in hand to give to people. And our newsletter. So we're working on still to get a shortened link that's more easily to be remembered, more easy to be remembered.
Oh, that's super easy to remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, subscribe to our newsletters as well so that you can keep up to date, particularly through the promotion period from Monday onwards. And there's a subscription link at the bottom of each of our new introductory section of our Doctor.
Yeah, hey, one last thing for our peak performance, we've got a special guest that's coming up that's going to be. Some of you may have, many of you may have listened. Dr. Rich Michael, he has confirmed that he's going to come over here to Australia for peak performance in March 1st.
March 1st,
yeah.
That's right. And he is going to tour Australia, the capital cities. So he'll be going Brisbane, Perth, and Melbourne, Sydney at that time as well. So as soon as we get all those venues locked in, we'll get the information out to you for you to be able to schedule out your year around that as well. And we're going to, jumped ahead. We're going to be handing the host controls over to David in just a minute so that he can also do a translation of these slides for his Chinese team as well. So we just wanted to thank you so much for joining us. We're very humbled and honoured to have had Jon Norton on, as well as of course hearing from Ed and the beautiful Alissa Tucker, along with Dave, Miriam, Lynette, and Dr. Michele today as well. Huge thank you to them for imparting their wisdom. We're very excited about the promotion coming up. Be sure to check your emails and get the news out for Monday. We'll see you next year. Obviously, we'll talk to many of you before then, but that's our next scheduled team webinar. Have a phenomenal couple of months. We will be excited to see all the names rank advancing, as well as the leaderboard with our team members for Ascent. And let's break some records in Australia for this promotion. So have a great weekend. Thanks again for joining us from everywhere around the world. And we're sure grateful to have you as part of our team. You all make us better people.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll stop the recording and then hand over the host controls to David.
Perfect.